Why do you say happy belated birthday? Why don't you say happy belated birthday? Huh?
Well, I'm not sure what the heck's on here.
It's Matthew Rockio's birthday yesterday.
Who's the new guy?
Ryan.
Ryan Hyde. Don't be like Rock.
We had Chick-fil-A yesterday, by the way. Rock's Rachel came in and dropped off Chick-fil-A for his birthday. It was quite lovely. I had a long day, and I needed that food. She helped me get through the day and not yell at Andy.
All right,
that really helped me.
Let's not talk long.
Really helped me.
I know you had to work with Andy. All right, you do a 2-hour show, then you do a podcast. I think what you're telling me is Andy Strickland, who I love, I'm a fan of. But what you're telling me is that you're telling me that Andy Strickland, 15 minutes with Andy is like 12 hours in Colorado.
It can be.
Okay.
It can be. It can be. You know what I mean? It's all good. No, by the way, get him in. Let's hear your frustration. Or are you guys curious to see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks? I think we know the route that they're going to go. And I do believe we are up live. There it is. You know how you could wave to Lou Info. Go to Lou Info on YouTube, and you guys can just click it. Boom. We're right there. What are you guys thinking about what's going on? It's about time, Rock, they said, but that's all good, man. Rock's doing a lot of things. He's got a lot of things going on there. So
Rock, have we done anything rights holder that you don't like?
It's going what?
Do you have the text line?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I can't get in the text line, so I just want to make sure one of us had it.
Yeah.
Rock, I see on the
what's up, buddy?
On the social media, Twitter.
What was he saying?
Yeah. I don't know.
What was he saying?
It's always a hot take. And you're like,
oh yeah.
So do you have we been rights holderish in our approach on the FanDuel? Do you have any complaints, or have we handled this pretty fairly?
Oh, this is going to be an awkward answer.
Oh boy.
I watch the games on mute.
Why do you do that?
Because I'm usually listening to a podcast of something else while I watch the Cardinals games, because I have to. I'm usually juggling 3 things at once every night. I'm usually I'm usually watching a game.
What are you walking around in your underwear? You're making.
I am 100%.
You're making spaghetti.
So am I.
You're
not SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs are disgusting. Come on now, have some respect.
I just picture.
Have some respect.
Yeah, dude. Those are so
and you
bad.
And you don't think that listening to Chip Carey or
who I love,
and
Brad Thompson,
and
you do the sidelines,
or Sweeney,
you guys are fantastic.
You don't think,
but not as good as the podcast he's listening to.
To help you.
You guys are good, but not as good as what he was listening to.
In no way or shape or form do I think that. In fact, I know for a fact that I'm depriving myself of some parts of knowledge by not listening to the broadcast. But
you wanted to listen to Ryan Seacrest podcast.
I got a bunch of
so you can figure out.
What was it? What was the podcast?
The podcast I was listening to? The podcast I was listening to during the Cardinals game yesterday was a football podcast, because I'm insanely behind on anything not Mizzou college football related that isn't the NIL stuff. That's the only stuff I've been reading about for the last 6 months. So I'm like, I got to tap back into. And so I was listening.
You missed football, don't you, Rock?
It was literally It's literally just I was listening to a podcast because I realized that I'm going to have to start talking about a topic in the next couple of weeks that I know nothing about outside of Mizzou. And I listened to a college football podcast last night.
There you have it.
And then I was also doing so I had the Cardinals game on one screen. I was doing City stuff on another screen, and I was listening to a podcast in my ear. So I
could process all that at the same time.
Probably not as well as I should, but I have to do all 3 of them at the same time.
Are you excited about football season?
I'm always excited about football season. It's been tampered down over the last decade because I don't have NFL football to get really excited for. But every year I get a little bit more back into the NFL. And college football just keeps getting more fun, especially if you're a Mizzou fan. So, yeah.
Why do I have this image of Rock sitting at home on a hassock, eating out of a...
What is a hassock?
Wait. What is a hassock? Is it one of those...
It's not even a chair. It's where you put your feet. So he's sitting on a hassock. Yeah. And on a TV tray table, he's got like a pot, sort of rusted, some of the dark spots, and he's eating... SpaghettiOs with a spatula.
So disrespectful.
With a spatula for some reason.
Did I cook these on a hot plate?
So disrespectful.
Is the pot on the hot plate sitting on
It's a bad image, and I apologize.
Simmer?
I apologize, but that's
is there like plates all over his kitchen and stuff like that?
Wait, Jim, let me see your pen really quick, because I'm holding the spoon.
Do you think he's
like this?
Yes, but it's not a spoon. It's a spatula.
I'm not holding it like an elegant person. I'm holding it like this and just shoveling.
And it's not even a spoon. It's a spatula.
Because he has nothing clean. It's all in the sink.
That's what I picture.
Is your house clean?
Yes, because I live with a woman.
So that's
what is that supposed to mean?
Well,
she's much tidier than I am.
Okay, here's what I mean, because we had this argument back on what was that other show I was on?
Hot Take Central 1.
And Iggy was like, I brought these in. for everyone to eat. Oh, and by the way, I forgot. I brought in saltwater taffy, and I forgot.
That's the second time you forgot. And what did I bring you?
a tangerine.
Yes.
Wow.
So anyway, I would never eat the stuff Iggy brought in because it didn't seem clean to me.
Yeah, I don't
It's
like
not a
that
shot.
No, it is.
Maybe it's a little.
It
But I
is.
said, no, if you're a single guy, I've been a single guy. You probably got even if you put the stuff in the dishwasher, it's probably like little chunks of
You're not
dried
doing
food,
it right.
Right? Any single guy, I'm going to be doubtful about the cleanliness of what he's doing.
Not to
I feel
mention,
like-
you saw him in the rearview
Yes.
mirror and with the spoon,
Thank
with his
you.
tidy whities
That's exactly what
on,
I was going to bring up.
cooking food.
Not
And-
just that, but you also had him tell stories about how he smoked in his apartment and things like that. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of context
Oh, my.
clues that would tell you maybe don't eat the food.
Does he wash his hands?
I don't think.
I don't know.
The only
Maybe.
context
I don't want to
clue you have-
chirp. I don't mean
the
to
only
chirp him.
context clue you have right now is that I told you that I watch baseball games on mute because I also listen to podcasts at the same time, which
Right.
feels like a little bit of a leap.
But I know, but this is the image. Like when someone tells you everyone gets an image.
Yes, you're right.
And,
You're
no,
100%
and
right.
that's the root of prejudice, by the way,
Yeah, yeah.
is you paint your own mental picture.
It's true.
So good or bad. So that's the picture I had. You had headphones on, you had underwear, you're sitting on a
House is
hammock in
trash.
front of a TV tray with a rusted
See,
pan.
I've updated it. Usually, what I'm actually doing is I'm standing at my standing desk, so that I don't always just sit down the entire time. I have earbuds in, not headphones. And
Where do you live?
And then I live down in Dogtown.
Oh, that's right. Right
And
there.
you have an office?
Yes, I have a room. I have a room in the.
Wait, no, hold on.
We
You have to
converted one
say
of the
yes or no.
bedrooms. Yes, I have an office.
So you could do all that stuff in your office. You have like a backdrop to put the camera up if you needed to get anything done without coming in here. Good.
See, here's the
Makes it
difference.
so much
too.
easier,
when
doesn't it?
you have a family. You had a room you thought was going to be your office. It's now your son's computer room. And then during COVID,
My computer room.
we're lucky enough, blessed to have guest bedrooms. That became like the studio. I bought a banner off Amazon. I put it up. And then once COVID's over, my wife is like, take that down. It was a nice baseball banner, like old-timey baseball glove, bat, ball. And that was the backdrop because we're doing stuff out of our home. And there was no like sound proofing or anything. It was just a room with a banner. And my wife was like, yeah, you're done with that.
God,
Take
doing interviews during COVID was a mess. Oh God, on the phone with him, I can't see him. I should.
That's how I am when I call in.
Yeah, but yeah, I know.
And the YouTube, when you watch it, I put that up.
It's delayed.
And it's a little delayed.
It is a little delayed.
It's a little
And I can
delayed.
see- and I can see sometimes I'll jump in and Cam's like, oh, Jesus, he just stepped on someone again.
What's going to be the big topic today? What are you guys going to talk about today? What's everybody going to say today? What are they going to be? What's
I think today is just kind of day 3 in the freak out apoplectic fissure that has been the Cardinals. I mean, we've on Randy's show the last 2 days, I think we've set viewership and comment records for the show going back to February when we started, because people are just annoyed right now with the Cardinals and the lack of decisiveness. And I think now that this has happened and it's gotten so bad that people are going to continue reacting. And so I think we're just gonna, like, the last 2 days we haven't talked about anything but Cardinals. It's been almost 2 hours, both Monday and Tuesday, of just Tuesday and Wednesday of just straight Cardinals talk with almost nothing else, which is rare for the show. We usually do about 45 minutes of Cardinals and then we hit the other stuff that's happening around the world. But it's been,
what are they bitching about?
hour and a half
What's the
straight
most
of
consistent
Cardinals.
thing there? Is it Mo? Is Mo up here?
Yes!
And then DeWitt.
It's
and
Mo,
then boom, boom, boom.
It's Mo, and I would say Mo and ownership are
1,
even,
2.
are even
Okay.
1A, 1B. And then there is a group of people who ignore context who are angry at Ollie because they can't think past.
Well, because he wears his hat
See.
backwards.
Yeah,
That's
that
why.
too.
Okay. But Mo's the number one
Number
villain.
one.
Yes.
And
Although I'm
first of all, let me finish. The whole Fetty thing really ticked people off.
Yes.
Because kind of you knew what was coming. Look, the guy has a resume. When the Cardinals got him, that was the guy people were clamoring for, right? Let's not forget that. And for whatever reason, he was okay, had good stretches this year.
and the thought process
Then he went off they needed
well,
pitching.
and not only that, he was having a very solid season for a historically bad team. And so the rationale was if he can have a 1.30 ERA plus with the White Sox, imagine what he could do if you're an actual legitimate baseball team. That was the thought process
Well,
behind him, is all I'm
also,
saying.
he went overseas, developed a sweeper, which you had to see if it was real, right? Comes back and does it in Major League Baseball. A sweeper was a major league pitch that was a difference maker for him. And people were like, get that guy. So they traded a guy who was hurt at the time. They bring in that guy, right? And he was good. And he was good for the early. At one point I looked up, his ERA is like 3.5, which is good nowadays, right? And then he couldn't land his sweeper, his cutter, and like he couldn't find anything with his sweeper, so he's throwing his cutter, and that's a batting practice pitch, right? And so you knew what was coming. They tried to fix him. They were hoping, look, the season probably lost anyway. Let's see if he goes out there and gives us 6 scoreless and someone might see something. Now, it might have been a fool's errand to think that way. I'm not trying to sugarcoat that. And we kind of knew it was going to happen. I mean, he's in Colorado. Balls fly around there, and it didn't. So they DFA'd him.
450 feet in the first inning. That was an absolute moonshot. Two things that have me. One is Randy has now mentioned it multiple times that when Fetty got here last year, he didn't exactly come in with a resounding bout of confidence, because apparently when he got here, he previously told the Cardinals, like, I got nothing left right now. Like, I don't know how I finish this season with what I have left in my arm right now. And so the fact that he did finish the season and then they came back around with it is interesting to me. I'm not saying definitively what they should have reacted to that in any way, shape, or form. The other thing that
well, his innings were high.
Yes,
for him.
Yes,
and
he was laboring,
and he got through it.
Mm-hmm.
And in an effort to build him up for this season.
Yeah.
So to think, I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Oh yeah.
But if you were like, Fetty is going to be the worst pitcher in Major League Baseball, no one said.
Yeah, that would have been a big swing. One other thing I do want to point out though is Katie Wu made a comment on Randy's Matrix show about ownership not wanting to move all three of the relievers because having them gives them a chance to stay competitive and push for a third wild card. Now, this was, at the beginning of the week on Monday, and obviously a lost series in Colorado could change the mindset. But that report did rub me the wrong way, because I just feel like, because it goes back against what I thought was the set plan, which was they accepted the fact that they weren't going to be a winning team this year, and that they were going to lose some fans as part of a drawdown in attendance that they've been expecting since 2022. And so it's weird to me. And my whole thing has been, I want a consistent message without deviating for dumb risks. And I feel like them saying, well, we need to keep some of these relievers so that we can be competitive and people still want to come watch the games in August and September. That to me sounds like a deviation and saying, well, we got in a half measure that isn't going to help the team next year. And that bit of reporting is the one time that I've been like, okay, this is definitively, if they do not trade these relievers, a mistake, and a bad mistake by an ownership group that has an obvious decision in front of them, which is trade expiring relief pitchers. And they might not do it because they just want to make some money and get some people into the turnstiles on the margins. In my opinion, based on the messaging from April, that would be a colossal mistake.
Okay, here's my take on that. I'm not disputing anyone else's reporting, just going on my own experience. Anything that a president of baseball ops or GM says about the trade deadline, I don't believe, because it's a smokescreen, either one or you're taking some off the table. No, you're not, because if someone comes at you with an offer, then you're going to listen.
I understand that with Mo's comments, but ownership comments are different, right?
No. Because it's all collective. So Mo
or public comments versus reported comments.
Mo, because things change. Like no one is going to take anything off the table going into a trade deadline, except for maybe a young talent that is going to be around. I'm just telling you that's my experience. And if you're saying there's an element of we don't want to be the worst team in baseball for the last 5 whatever. I understand that, but my belief is they're going to listen to everything except for some of the young guys that they believe are the real deal at 2026 and beyond. And so I take everything with a grain of salt, because I know you might mean that until someone says, no, we want that guy, and here's what we're going to give you. So I'm not going to get my panties in a bunch over some quote or something from a few weeks ago. First of all, Mo at the
That was
beginning
Monday.
that day Monday was before they looked that bad against Colorado. Secondly, Mo didn't say, I don't know where this fluid stuff came. Like Mo basically said, we're operating with an eye toward the future,
Yes.
which is not what they had said, which was basically we're going to look to the future, but we're also possibly going to enhance this team because there's an opportunity. I don't believe that they think there's an opportunity now. I didn't think that Mo really felt there was he said, look, the standings matter, right? Like even the wild card, we got a leapfrog. And if you look at the Central, there's teams ahead of us that have gotten hot.
Yeah.
So, and I was just trying to parse through what he said, and it told me it doesn't look like they're going to be buying much of anything. Now, I do think there's an element of our fans deserve better than the worst team in baseball. And if it's a jump ball on some, we're going to keep a couple guys so we can win a few games for them. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think that at this point, you just need to be thinking cut and dry. And I understand, like, they're not wrong. They're going to win more games if they have Helsley for the last 3 months of the season. There's no doubt about that. Or if they have Maton to fill in the Helsley gap, if they trade away Helsley and they still have Matz. Like, if they keep two of those three guys, they will win more games. I'm not disputing that fact. I just wonder if there's a point to that. And for me, those are your most valuable assets, and you're trying to set the page for 2026 and 2027. And there is a completely legitimate argument that part of setting the page for 2026 and 2027 is that the young players are playing in a good winning environment and maybe even getting only 3 games, but 3 games worth of playoff experience. There is an argument to be made that is useful. And I'm not going to say it's not useful. All I'm saying is that the asset you could get from selling every possible reliever that has value is a better improvement for the future than the slight bit of experience you might get for these players in August, September, and maybe October.
Okay, first off, that's 2 different things. I'll say it again. I'm under the opinion, if you have an opportunity to get in the playoffs, which there isn't that opportunity now. Let's be clear.
What if
we're not talking about this team. Now I'm going Stephen A. Smith.
Hold on a second.
Let's be clear.
Hold on a second. If they sweep the Padres, they're in the wild card.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so that's
what if they
prisoner
do
of the moment.
But I'm saying, that's my issue.
But I'm not operating, and I don't have to make trades right now. This is how I'm looking at it. Okay, if there's an opportunity and we circle back, once something like that happens, I'll look at it.
I'd be so mad if that
okay,
happens.
I know a lot of people would, but I'm not. I'm just trying to operate as how I've seen it and how I see it going forward. I hope they do that.
It would be
fun.
It would be.
I think it would be
so fun. It would also be hugely aggravating because.
Well, to you, but it would be good because you'll have content, to do hot takes on.
That's why.
Well, can I finish what I'm saying? If it has nothing to do with this year, and I said this on. Let's be clear. If you have an opportunity to make the playoffs, you should try. That doesn't mean you mortgage your future or you ignore your future. Do what you can to enhance while also making whatever moves you need to make to try to better yourself for the future. You can do 2 things at one time. In this case, I'm not optimistic they're going to get into the postseason. But when someone says, hey, we're going to do this and this and this, the market, how many trades have there been? The market hasn't even come into play yet. So you don't know what the offers are going to be. They're talking now. Mo basically said, people saw how we played in Arizona, and we started getting a lot of calls.
Okay, and that's fair, but I wonder if there was, because we always, whenever we talk about trades, the backside of it is, well, are they getting phone calls? Is there a team that wants to trade with them? Obviously. For me, I understand that a lot of trades haven't gone down, but is it insane then to wonder if the Cardinals were taking phone calls for Helsley in mid-June? Because based on the comments we've seen, and again, they're public comments about trading people, so maybe they're all just completely bunk. It seems like they weren't fielding those calls if they were getting them in mid-June, or not fielding them, but they weren't taking them seriously in mid-June, which to me would be a mistake, even if they were in a playoff position, because I just think that this year with this roster, expecting the playoffs to be anything more than just a quick 3-game experience,
I wouldn't look at it.
Would be a pipe dream.
I wouldn't, because you never know how it's going to. We've talked about.
I know we never know. But
we talk about other teams that come in. It's always.
I'm not saying there's not a chance, Jim.
So
but
I don't
you
discount
have to play the odds. is my point is they have to play the odds, and the odds, and you had a better you had a better chance to better your team by trading Ryan Helsley and these other relievers than making a playoff run, because the playoff run, I know there's a slight chance it goes well, but the overwhelming chance based on this roster is it's a quick little trip, and it does nothing for the organization, much like it did in 2022.
To me, it's a lot like the school of thought, which I agree with at times. Key point in the game, right? You bring in your best reliever to put out the fire instead of saving him for a possible save, because that's the opportunity to put out the fire right there. Same thing.
Okay.
You have an opportunity. All I'm saying is, and again, it has nothing to do with this season. You have an opportunity that you don't know could come your way next year, the year after. Try to climb through it. And look, the odds of winning the World Series for any team in the postseason, just based on numbers, isn't great. I think you roll the dice.
If you have a roster that makes sense to roll the dice with, that's fine. If you have Chris Carpenter and Jeff Suppan and Jason Marquis, that's fine.
But you're talking about when they were playing much better baseball.
Even if they were playing better baseball.
Back when they were stringing hits together,
even then,
back when they were down by 4 and would come back to
even
win.
Then,
fighting back.
Even then, the things that jump out in the playoffs that decide playoff series more often than not is elite starting pitching and power hitting.
But back then,
they still didn't have the power, though.
Wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, Jim, but going into the playoffs, if you think who's your starting 3 pitchers in the playoffs, even in May, we all said, okay, fine, Sonny Gray. But again, the issue there is his historical numbers tell you he's not going to be a good pitcher in the playoffs. After that, okay, then who's after Sonny Gray in your playoff rotation?
Jeff Suppan. Ever heard of that guy?
I have, yes.
Money in the postseason.
Was he what were his career numbers before 2006 in the postseason? Compared to his regular season numbers.
I think his postseason numbers are better after that than they were. He was a solid major, but he wasn't anyone's number one. I'm just saying,
I'm aware of that.
Things like that
but Chris
happen.
Carpenter was okay, but Chris Carpenter is the person we're comparing to in
I'm not
in
comparing
that sense,
anyone.
Right?
To
but I'm saying, but I'm saying if you're going to go if you're going to go who's your number one?
Doyle to
No. I'm not saying
Gray.
You're comparing the pitchers. I'm saying you're comparing like to like. 1A pitcher to 1A pitcher. Carp and Suppan was the second or third pitcher in that rotation. I'm not saying you have to compare it 100%, but I'm saying is you look at the pitchers you have, what is a realistic expectation of what they can give you, and you weren't winning a playoff series. By all the good odds, this team was not going to win a playoff series. I'm not saying there was no chance. I'm saying by all the odds, they weren't going to do it. So everything should have been framed towards how do we plan best for 2026, 2027. And at times they've done that, but it's been half measures. And that's my issue.
So they so this was going to be a year for runway. And then all of a sudden they're winning. So
they shouldn't have bought into the wins.
The thinking is, let's see where this goes. And the planning was we can buy and sell. No one said we're going all in, even when they were winning. No one said that.
I agree with that.
They were basically saying buying and selling, which goes back to what I said is I think you can do 2 things. I think you can enhance with maybe a piece this year that will be there for next year, and maybe you guide it differently. Look, they're playing awful baseball. So whatever I say will sound like rights holder, shining up the apple.
No,
I've always been a guy, you try to get into the postseason. I'm not alone. I never said
you're not alone.
This was a playoff team. I never said they're winning the World Series, but that's how I would operate. And I'm also saying I'm not going to believe everything I'm told or hear because all the offers haven't come in. And the teams that really believe they can win it all are going to get desperate as you get closer to the deadline, and that maybe some of the things you think weren't going to happen will.
A John Mozeliak on July 4th saying, I don't think we're going to trade in the relievers is something you throw in the trash because him saying I will trade the relievers loses him leverage. A report that isn't a public comment from inside the front office saying they don't want to trade these people is a little bit different. Can we agree with that?
Not to me, because they haven't gotten all the offers yet. To me, it's not a set in stone. Now, maybe that'll turn out that way. But
just for looking at public comments, one of them is a public comment, one of them's not.
Right.
It's
inside the organization. They will never change their mind when an offer comes.
I'm not saying that.
In fact, I was in there this morning. I stopped on and they put I'm not saying that. Sign that said we will, and everyone was bowing toward it.
It's a lot easier to argue. It's a lot easier to argue from the hyperbolic side. I understand.
No.
It's convenient.
No, because it's not convenient. It's what if. It's not set in stone, in my opinion. It could turn out to be right, but to act like no one is going to blow them away with an offer.
Them making that statement after the Diamondback series shows a flawed thought process.
Disagree with the statement. That doesn't mean that that's exactly how they're going to operate.
No, but them operating like that in the moment would have been a mistake. Had the deadline been Monday night, and after the Arizona Diamondback series, they thought, that would have been a mistake.
That's a hyperbolic statement.
It's
right
not.
There. Yeah, because you made up a false deadline to make your point. It's hyperbolic.
It's literally. I'm just saying that in the moment that was
exactly what you just.
In the moment, that was their decision making process, and it was a flawed process in the moment. That's all I'm saying. It might have changed. I'm not talking about if it changed. I'm talking about in the moment that was a dumb thing for them to say.
Okay,
it was a bad mindset for them to have, and if they haven't shifted it, it's going to be a mistake. Is all I'm saying.
And I'm saying it's.
They might.
In my opinion, it's not set in stone.
No, it's not.
And they haven't. And to close doors before you even got the offers that you have to weigh, I don't think they're that dumb.
But they're not. It's not a public comment. They're not closing the door.
What are we talking about?
Like, so no comment that comes out of any front office during the deadline is accurate. Every single thing's a smokescreen.
No, I say everything should be taken with a grain of salt, is what I've said.
Okay.
It might be truth in there. We'll see. I've been saying that all along. I just don't think they're really internally shutting the door and putting that giant sign up in the office.
I'm actually cool with the Cardinals losing right now. My biggest fear was that the Cardinals were going to come out of the All-Star break hot enough to where they decide to stand pat and not sell. 636. Let's see. Rocchio takes a rip from his bong and pounds some of the SpaghettiOs. Yeah, there's got to be a bong in there too.
Never eat SpaghettiOs. God, who's? I'm sorry.
They're gross.
Who after the age of 8 didn't think SpaghettiOs were the most disgusting thing ever put in front of them? Things are nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even.
All right, so that's a good example. Okay,
that stuff's nasty.
My visual of how you are listening to podcasts, you just refuted.
Chef
so now
Boyardee,
I don't believe it now. Right? So things change.
I remember being so excited at like 8 years old because I never got Chef Boyardee, but I saw the commercial and I finally convinced my mom to buy it. And immediately I was like,
crap.
"Oh, this is terrible. You were right, Mom. This is a waste of money."
Yeah, no, it's cheap.
Immediately,
cheap food.
Immediately mea culpa on that one.
That food is for the poors. Okay?
That's damn. Oh man, do you guys have any idea what Iggy is doing nowadays?
No,
I don't know. Maybe he could do a cooking segment live on the show, and the cat would sample the review.
No,
in
we're
the
good.
dish.
We're good.
Nope, not doing that.
By the way, I finally looked this up. Prior to joining the Cardinals, and he had pitched in. He pitched 8 years before he joined the Cardinals. Jeff Subban had never pitched in the playoffs before joining the Cardinals with the Red Sox or the Royals. So that the entire arguments, you don't really have any.
You don't know.
Go off of it. Yeah,
you just that's
he did not pitch his entire.
Really?
Yeah, 95 to 02. The Red Sox and the Royals, not any good. He also played for the Diamondbacks for half a season in 98. But I guess that was.
By the way, he's on Twitter now.
Put things together.
And he's a good dude. So after the Cardinals, right? He went to the Brewers, right? And he wasn't good. So
no, he's not.
There's like
12
parallels
and 10 and 10.
There are parallels between Suppan and Kyle Loesch. Both those guys were good as Cardinals, which had good infield defense. The Cardinals cut both guys loose, and Suppan, postseason hero. Loesch was a postseason hero with his bunt, right?
Yeah.
They cut him loose. Loesch cut his own deal with the Brewers. And I remember asking Cardinals front office guys, "Hey, why you let that guy win?" And they go, "Because we think he's done. He's not going to do well in Milwaukee because they don't play defense." And I was like, "You'll see." And they were right.
Yeah.
It's funny that you remember the bunt because his line from pitching in the playoffs that year, he started in 3 games. He went 0 and 2 with a 7.82 ERA.
But he had the bunt.
But he had that bunt.
And he was like, "What? Me?" Like
he went 16 and 3 his final year in 2012 in St. Louis. That's 100% a deal. You do not let that guy. You do not sign that guy after he has a 2.86 ERA and a 16 and 3 average record. And prior in his career, he was sitting at like 4.1 and like 9 and
what did he sign for?
Average. He signed with the Brewers
for his own deal. A lot of money.
Let me see if I can find it here really quick. He signed with the Brewers for 11 a pop, 3 for 33.
Ooh, yeah,
which was
baby.
a huge deal back then. And he did it himself. And the funny thing about Loesch was, if you recall, he no one called him as spring training approached. They were in spring training, and the Cardinals needed a starter, and he was working out with a local college team, staying ready. And the Cardinals called him, and he jumped right in, and he was good for him.
Yeah, he went 15-6 that first year. That's insane. God,
They can do both.
Dave Duncan was a monster.
Sell them and get prospects and sign them back in the offseason. You have to sign them back anyway. They're all UFAs. 636.
I mean, there's guys now that have real, like Maton, no one wanted, and that's why he pitched this year with a chip on his shoulder, because they were like, everyone passed. So he gets a 1-year deal with the Cardinals and is great. Now he's going to get some money.
Damn right.
So it's going to take some cash.
That is such a good, that if they trade him, it's such a good move. It's just like that is like candy. It's like it's if your GM can just churn out little things like that every once in a while, it makes everything easier.
And
Jim.
this stuff is nasty.
Let's do what we did last year and trade the most clutch player on our team for 2 guys that aren't even on our team anymore. Great idea. 314.
That's I did say that.
He wasn't.
I say that?
The guy you traded last year wasn't playing games.
He was hurt.
And apparently was not too happy with how his injury had been handled. And I don't think was going to, by choice, was not going to suit up in a Cardinals jersey again. I don't think that season. And so you went and you got something for him. And by the way, he's a below average hitter with like a 640 OPS this season for the Dodgers. Yeah, he flashed in the NLCS. It was a good move by the Dodgers, but you can't act like there's no reasoning and context behind the move from the Cardinals side, or ignore what Tommy's doing this year.
And there are plenty of guys like that have been cut loose or passed on by the organization that go elsewhere and do really well. But there's also plenty that you're like, okay, like I'm a Tyler O'Neill guy. And we used to argue he didn't lose. Ollie didn't lose the clubhouse over Tyler O'Neill. That's from people who've never been in the clubhouse. But I was like, I like Tyler O'Neill. This guy has unique talent. And if he can stay healthy, I would keep him. And he's hitting under 200 this year, had a ton of injuries, hasn't worked out.
Always
and
got
he's
injured.
30 now. It's not like he's a kid. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I know the fun thing now is to bash whoever you can. I get it. Fans should be upset, right? They're used to winning baseball, and it's been pretty bad this year. Good for a little while, and then it kind of went off a cliff. So I understand the frustration, but look, Heimblum's coming in.
He's coming, baby.
I don't know how long it's going to take. But here's the other thing about prospects. We were talking about this yesterday after the game, the broadcasters. Like, how many prospects pan out the way you think they will? It's not a huge percentage.
What was the last one? Who was the last
to
kid?
me, Liberatore, and it took a while, right? And now they're skipping a start but Liberatore is a guy who was a prospect. They traded for him. This guy is a starter. This guy, and he had to find his legs under him as a guy out of the bullpen. It doesn't happen a lot.
Get him in. 314-590-3770. We're also live on YouTube. Just go to Lou Info on YouTube and just click the button. You can go on my Twitter, Cam Jansen25. Excuse me. The link's right there as well. We're going to get a break. We'll be back. I'll read all the texts on YouTube and on the text line. Get them in. I'll read them. We'll be back. Hot Take Central 2.0.
In your city with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of the city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life. In your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
Hats off to family fun on Sunday, July 27th, when the Birds host the Padres. That day, 20,000 fans, 16 and older, will get a City Connect throw pad courtesy of Quick Trip. And thanks to Haichu, 10,000 kids ages 15 and under will take home a Cardinals hat with custom charms. Upgrade your and your kiddos' game gear. Snag your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A house fire killed a man in South St. Louis on Wednesday. 54-year-old Bradley Rowe died in the fire in the 4100 block of Tyrolean Avenue. Investigators are looking into the cause of the fire. A St. Peter's woman pleaded guilty to felony arson for setting 3 Puerto Rico businesses on fire in January. Danielle Bertothy was kicked out of a bar and returned later with a gas can, according to investigators. A monster catfish was recently hauled in by an angler on the Missouri River. An 86-pound blue catfish was caught using gizzard bait near Washington, Missouri. Wally Klein told the Missouri Department of Conservation it's the biggest fish he's ever caught, and he released it after getting a photo. President Trump's recently passed Big Beautiful Bill repeals energy tax credits, and that could cause electricity bills in Missouri to spike by $640 per year for the average household. Missouri's increase would be the highest in the nation. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We have an extreme heat warning in effect today from the National Weather Service. Really hot and really humid. Sunshine, and we're headed for about 100 on the afternoon high air temperature. The heat index as high as 110, so take it easy in the sunshine today. Few clouds and maybe a shower overnight. Upper 70s, scattered thunderstorms, and mid-90s Friday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Jansen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station. Back to more of Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Yeah, baby, 8:49 on a Thursday. Hot as hell in Kirkwood, Missouri. This is the Jay Randolph Jr. Studios, Hot Take Central 2.0 coming at you, powered by the Audi Exchange in Kirkwood, right next door, that beautiful facility. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now. Ready to electrify your drive. Audi Kirkwood invites you to experience the all-new 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron. The future of luxury EVs is here. For a limited time, take advantage of the 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on the Q6 e-tron. That's high performance with smart financing. Plus, explore a great selection of your Audi favorites, including the all-new 2025 Audi Q5, redesigned and ready to impress. And don't miss out up to $7,500 federal tax credit available on select EVs and plug-in hybrids. But hurry, this credit expires September 30th. Now's the time to plug in and save. Go see Neil, my buddy over there at the Audi Exchange on Manchester Road, or shop their entire inventory online at AudiKirkwood.com. Audi Kirkwood, expect the exceptional. Pretty damn good. I messed up yesterday, Jimmy, on this, and I did pretty dang good today.
The read was fine. Now, I'm a little mad at Neil and
Man.
Audi. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Because my kid was in the market for a car, and he always wanted to go into the Audi place. And let's be honest, even when you drive by,
man,
that place is the shining home on the hill.
Well, Jim, here's
It's
awesome.
It's a palace.
Jim,
Yeah.
here's the plan.
It's like a nightclub inside.
It's pretty soon we're gonna be sending out my car to help change in for a new Audi in my situation. And so when I send in my old car and they keep it there for scrap metal, I'll text you guys, and you and Tyler can slide right in and just go ahead and grab that thing, because that's the only time he'll be getting his first car off the Audi lot is when you guys.
Wait,
So you're
getting
gonna get one?
You're getting an Audi?
She'll be getting a new Audi. I'll be taking over the current Audi.
Oh, man, there you go.
But I'm gonna sell my car, and I'm gonna buy the car.
Yeah,
From
it's.
But
yeah.
I want an Audi.
It's
I wanted
time.
an Audi since I was in high school.
They're
as well.
awesome.
I'm much like Tyler, where I was like, as soon as I drove past an Audi dealership, I was like, so why are we still driving? No, turn around. Why are we still driving?
I'm kind of curious to see what this
1-on-1 forever.
This Q5, what is it? Q6 e-tron.
It's the Q5 is the one that everyone's talking about, because the dashboard is just is a computer screen.
Oh yeah.
The dashboard, like literally from your driver's side behind the wheel all the way over to the glove compartment of the passenger side. The passenger side also has a full screen in front of them.
Like Neil,
It's incredible.
Neil even admits, like Neil Westfall, who runs the show over there at Audi, like he's like, this is luxury. Okay?
The Q5
These are expensive. This is a lifestyle. This is what you want when you have money. It is what it is. We're high class, no doubt.
The Q5 is I can't. I need to stop looking at pictures of it on the
They're
internet.
bitching.
because it's so gorgeous.
I saw one the other day, all blacked out, tinted all the windows, black rims. It looked futuristic. I
You
love
have
that.
never not been obsessed with completely blacking out a car.
Black it all out, just like the Batmobile, like my Corvette was.
Does that is that a little punitive?
What does that
mean? Does it hurt? Is there some, when it's hot out like this?
No.
Does the blacked out car, does the tint block out all the sun?
I mean, if I touch the hood, yeah, it's going to be hot.
What about inside?
But I wouldn't drive that car if it's this hot.
Okay.
It's not good for the engine. You like to drive big cars like that with a heavy intake of air. You want it to be cool outside. That's when they run the best.
So you just can't drive them when it's August?
I would, yeah. Unless it's at night. Unless
Really?
it's at nighttime. Yeah, I mean, 100 degrees driving that car with that big ass engine in it.
Should
No way.
Should I just not be like putting into sport mode when it's hot?
It just doesn't run well.
By the way,
and you could feel it. You know what I mean? When you have a big engine like
sport
that.
mode in an Audi.
Oh, it's badass.
Not a bad time.
I'm getting jealous of you by the day. I'm getting jealous of you by the day, and I don't like it.
I get to drive it around because
he's a country club boy. He's an Audi. What is going on with him?
You know what it is? Sugar mama.
Oh, baby.
He is a sugar mama.
She did chime in and say, she's like, Matt would not be allowed in the house if he acted that way after eating.
Yeah, if I ate like the slob that Jim had me as.
I don't blame her. Does she get because sometimes Kate looks at me and she goes, listen, clean up your mess.
Yes.
Does that happen?
I get that. Yeah,
I get that, like a child, and I feel bad.
No, it's worse.
I feel bad.
It's worse.
I think Dave Green did that to me because I left my chew here one.
you could clean up.
Oh,
at home.
I felt horrible.
We're about to.
But don't you get it? You clean up at home and then you did it wrong.
Yeah, Matt. Remember when Matt White?
You don't want to do it again.
Remember when Matt
I
White
get that
literally
as
had
well.
the post where he said he
His
walked
great
downstairs
post.
and his wife goes, "Oh, so what do you have today?" And he runs out his entire schedule. She just goes, "Okay, we have company. Can you clean the bathroom?" He goes, "Yeah, I can clean the downstairs bathroom." And she goes, "No. I need you to clean the downstairs bathroom." It's like, Dad, that's a piece of being 12 years old I don't need again in my life.
Oh, yeah, I get that too. I don't like it, but I deserve it.
But you don't do your own yard work either.
Oh, hell no.
I don't either.
Yard work. Get on with yourself.
I've made a point now. Every time Cam talks about yard work, it's in the podcast description that Cam doesn't do his own yard work. I just want people to know.
Kate does a lot around the yard. With the mulch stuff, sometimes we'll do that. But as far as cutting the grass, there's no way we wouldn't be able to do it. You
get a lawnmower and then that's.
Oh, and you look like a Hoosier compared to everybody else. No. That's all sequenced in. It coexists with the golf course. Can't do it. You would stick out with a sore thumb, and somebody would ride up on you.
Isn't there a line where like the rough of the course starts and it stops and your lawn begins?
Yeah, but it's all the way they cut it. It's all in the same way.
You have a fence?
No, not allowed to have a fence.
Goats. Let the goats travel.
We have bison that get shot.
We have bison that get shot.
Jeez Louise, that whole situation.
Come on out to St. Albans, ladies and gentlemen.
Bizarro. I tell you what, we only got a couple minutes here. I'll just read a couple more of these bad boys, and then we'll go to break. And
Proud of you
tell you about that.
Proud of you for looking at the clock.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Blake Ahern, man. He was cool, so I'll get into him next segment. But
what about Blake Ahern?
Well, just he told some stories. I'll tell it about traveling the world as a basketball player and where he played, including China.
Where is this on a podcast?
He was in with me and Joe Fressa yesterday.
Wait, Blake Ahern? Wait, what?
Yeah. We did a show. I did 2 shows yesterday.
Wait, was he in studio?
Yes. He walked with his lovely daughter, who's an unbelievable golfer, by the way.
He walked right past me.
Right past you. Didn't say hi, you son of a...
Where's he now? Where's he coaching now?
I think he's back in town. I think he's back in town right now.
Yeah, he obviously was back in town because he was on the show yesterday. Because he didn't know about it. I was asking where he's coaching now.
I'm saying I think he's helping. I don't know where in town he's helping out, but I think he's helping out around town right now.
So he got let go of Memphis?
Yeah, he finished up with Memphis after with the Grizzlies after 2023 or 2022. So yeah, he didn't coach with Memphis in 2025. So I think he might be back just in St. Louis helping out, doing different shooting camps and things like that.
We only got 30 seconds. But I'm going to give a little shout out because my dad told me to give a little shout out to this kid that's a big fan and he listens. I know he's really young.
We have a minute.
Owen Kinder, give it a little shout out. And your dog Sage, what's up, baby? Keep working hard, keep doing your thing, and keep listening. And if I do curse, I apologize. I know you're only 11 years old. A little too young to probably listen to my stuff. It's all good. No big deal. Shout out Owen Kinder. What? You're giving me a look. You're giving me a look.
I feel like an 11-year-old could learn a lot of stuff from you, Cam. Good piece of life advice.
All right. I appreciate that. You think so?
I mean, it's got to be really targeted what things they listen to.
Yeah. I think this show's okay. The podcast is it's a little different. Just a little bit. Actually, this show sometimes, I don't know. We're probably getting into some stuff. All right. You want to go to break? Regroup? How much time?
I want to go to break in 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Okay. 40 seconds. Jimmy, give me something. Ready? Go.
We're taping Serving It Up
there,
today.
I knew that was coming.
And you can find it on the Jim the Cat Hayes YouTube channel. We believe Kyle Gibson will be on with his new puppy, which is good for ratings. Not as good as a hot take where you're ripping Mo, but we'll have Kyle Gibson, hopefully, with puppy. We'll have Lance Lynn, and we'll have Matt Holliday. A lot to talk about, including Banana Ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, will Lance be uniformed?
No, he was on AJ Przinsky's, but hopefully.
With Katie Wu. Okay, we are going to break. We will be right back. Hot Take Central 2.0.
Let's talk about your health insurance. There are a lot of reasons why people need affordable health insurance. But here's the bottom line. You know you need affordable health insurance. You, a spouse, a family member, whatever. I'm going to give you a free hotline to call to find affordable health insurance that can cover all your health insurance needs in case you get sick or have an emergency. Plus, cover vision, dental, and more. And there are no long-term commitments. You can keep your plan as long as it's affordable. And for the price of a cup of coffee. We're not talking about one of those fancy coffees. For the price of a regular cup of coffee a day, you can have quality, affordable health insurance. Call the Health Insurance Hotline for a free quote.
800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. That's 800-373-8414. All aboard!
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak. And there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now to book your Amtrak reservations. We service most of the United States.
All aboard!
Do something new. Travel by Amtrak today.
800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. That's 800-428-9517.
Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios in Kirkwood.
Daddy is out of the cleaning up dump business.
KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis.
USA Radio News, I'm John Summers. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard released a previously classified House report on the 2016 election. It cast doubt on Russian President Vladimir Putin's interest in the election, and it marks Gabbard's second disclosure of information after accusing the Obama intelligence community of a treasonous conspiracy. Numerous intelligence reviews have concluded Russia aimed to influence the 2016 election, and recently released intelligence reports provide insights on the Obama administration's handling of Russia's activity at the time. The Wall Street Journal says President Trump was informed in May by the Justice Department his name appears multiple times in the Jeffrey Epstein files.
The outlet said officials told Trump during a routine briefing that the files contained what they believed was unverified hearsay about many people, including Trump. Trump was also reportedly told the DOJ did not plan to release more documents because they contained child pornography. The new report comes days after the Journal published a story about an alleged birthday letter sent by Trump to Epstein, which led Trump to sue the outlet and its owners for $20 billion. I'm Chris Garagio.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson questions if Ghislaine Maxwell, a longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, would offer truthful testimony. His questioning comes after a House Oversight and Government Reform Subcommittee voted to subpoena Maxwell to have her appear for a deposition, and a senior official at the Department of Justice reached out to Maxwell's lawyers to arrange a meeting. Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison after being convicted of sex trafficking charges. Southern California Edison's launching a compensation program for survivors of the Eaton fire in Altadena. The Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program begins this fall. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Business owners, are you paying high phone bills for old school systems and lousy service? StrongTel cuts your phone bills in half and turns every phone you own into a feature-rich business system. Sean Roddy, CEO of Hennings Brothers Drilling, had this to say: "We've been a StrongTel customer for over 10 years. It's great. It even includes an intercom with video to our equipment yard. I can watch live from anywhere with my smartphone. I'd recommend StrongTel to anyone. Never miss a customer call again with your StrongTel business system. StrongTel is a proud iTex partner and always welcomes your iTex dollars. You'll get award-winning StrongTel service, a business-class phone system, and cut your phone bill in half. So visit strongtel.com right now. That's StrongTel, StrongTel.com. StrongTel.
News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen. Brown and Crouppen.
So what's his handle?
GetBC.com.
You're gonna need lawyers, right? Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get: a full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel, a delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here, and when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Hey, listen to me. I'm one of the credit cards in your wallet. I'm about to explode and pop like a balloon. You're using me and my brothers way too much.
Your credit cards aren't the only ones annoyed. It's your paycheck that doesn't have enough to pay everything. Save your credit cards, your paycheck, and yourself a lot of PAIN. Pain. Call the debt helpline now, not tomorrow, right now. Our experts will show you how you can cut your interest rates and your payments on your credit cards in half. Credit card companies have special assistance programs designed to help you. Make this 100% free call right now and learn how you could get out of credit card debt. Here's the number.
800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. That's 800-406-6569. Paid for by Zero Debt.
The Lou Information Station presents Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jensen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
Let's go. 9:05 on a Thursday. Hot as hail outside. We're live in Kirkwood, the J. Randolph Jr. Studios. You're the best I've ever worked with. Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can call in 855-282-8255. You can text into the show. Ask us anything. 314-590-3770. We're on YouTube, Lou Info on YouTube. Check out my Twitter. I posted a link at Cam Jansen 25. Rock is speaking the truth this morning and turning the simp into a bumbling moron, diverting to jokes since he has no actual factual responses.
I guess you won, Rock.
Wombat.
I guess you won, Rock.
I don't think that's what happened.
That was a great discussion.
Wombat, no offense.
That was a great discussion.
I know you're a hot taker.
Yeah.
And you don't like the Cardinals, but I mean, you're also not rational. I'm not a name caller, but that seemed to be silly to me.
Let's see here.
It seems a little bit of a odd reaction. I thought it was a pretty good back and forth.
Just a thought you fellows should know this. I had no intentions of listening to Cam 2.0 yesterday, but a little voice told me to turn the dial. It was the voice of the Lord, because he knew what y'all were going to say. And quite frankly, I have no respect for the people who talk about others behind their backs, especially to listening an audience of 10. It's disgraceful. What was that all about? What the hell is he talking about? Audis, BMWs, Lexuses, Infinities are all very expensive to maintain.
Audi.
Can you run that back?
You said Audi.
Audi?
You said Audi.
Cam, what do you think? I'm going to make it up?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
When I'm not on, you're already talking behind people's backs.
Oh, what? That was Hockey Bob.
Was that Hockey Bob?
Yeah.
Did we talk about him yesterday?
I don't know.
I don't think we did.
I wasn't even here.
I don't think we talked about Hockey Bob yesterday.
God, thank God that's Hockey Bob.
I feel like I would have remembered if we talked about Hockey Bob yesterday.
How are those? They're pretty dang. That's a nice little surprise, isn't it, to have?
You gave me a tangerine.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a nice, healthy treat.
It's a nice little treat to have on the radio.
Now say Audi correctly.
Audi.
Now, and also don't doubt me.
Ouchie.
Also
Fauci.
don't doubt.
Ouchie. Fauci.
You know what I wanted to talk about, which was, yes, as a rights holder, I like to dwell on the positive with the Cardinals. And let's be honest, this time of year, the Cardinals generally
you're a
are
rights
winning.
holder. Oh, Hayes again.
It's usually better stuff. It's been awful. But Kyle Leahy.
I appreciate it, Jim. I appreciate it.
I like that guy. Jack Flaherty. I like him. Pitched really well the other night.
He did.
And he's a Boulder guy from Colorado. Went to Rockies games. His grandparents had season tickets. And it's a great story. First heard on our pregame show. And this story taken by others. But anyway, I'm talking behind their back. Anyway, he's a quiet guy. And there's a kid, he just wanted an autograph. He was too quiet to get one. So now when he sees like a kid who's not screaming for an autograph, he'll make sure they get their autograph first. Anyway, he's close to his family. They're all there. He's back in town. And his grandmother, Ruth, passed away. She had been sick. And he did get to see her Monday night. He told me she wasn't doing well and hadn't eaten for days. They knew the end was coming. And he felt like she wanted to wait until he got back to pass. I mean, it's really heart-wrenching. Anyway, this part no one knows, so I'm going to say it now. So I got Leahy to come on the pregame show, the first game in Colorado, and he told me, just a heads up, be ready. I go, oh, what do you mean? Okay, all right, let's just go. So we start the interview. I'm asking about being back and, going to Rockies games and seeing his family. And he mentioned his grandmother had passed. And I'm like, dude, you want me to, you don't have to do this. And he's like, I want to do it. Anyway, we cut it out because it just seemed to be something serious, and it's a stupid pregame interview. I didn't want to be the one to break the news to his. He didn't tell a soul, no one knew, and I didn't want to be that guy game show interview. So I held it back. We cut that part out. You could tell he was a little emotional, but he was talking about being back, so maybe that was it. And I waited, and he pitched really well. That was his best outing. 3+ innings. He showed people he could be a starter. So I thought post game I'm going to ask him about it, but I had to check first on the field. He was talking before the clubhouse even opened for post game. Checked it was okay, and then to hear him talk about that, he said, it's almost heart wrenching. He was close to his grandma, and I said, how emotional is it? And he basically said she would want me to be out there. That's where she would want me to be, to pitch. So that's an emotionally strong guy. I just thought I'd share that. In a pregame interview, he's willing to talk about it. He's a quiet guy. You just don't know that side of someone. And then he went out there with a heavy heart and pitched brilliantly. That says something about it, in my opinion.
That's a dang good story. It's sad, but how old was she? Old?
Yeah, yeah. She was not doing well.
Man.
He seems awesome. and that start was, this is crazy. And credit to Ethan Hannaford over at STL Sports Central who pointed this out. That
we're all in the same family. I like
7 strikeouts from a relief pitcher in 3 and 2/3. First time since Dizzy Dean had that a Cardinals reliever had 7 strikeouts like that. That's an unbelievably awesome stat, and good for him. And he's had an up and down season. And really, for the people who got down on him, just the most blatant example of an inability to use context to actually analyze things, because it was he sucks now. It was or he threw his arm into the ground because he was pitching literally every day.
Overused.
No question. And as soon as you saw a point where they got other relievers like Riley O'Brien to take some of these crucial moments, and you didn't have to use Kyle Leahy as Brendan Schaefer called him every day. All of a sudden he starts mowing people down, and you see him in a start in a appearance like that. He looks great. Now all of a sudden you think, all right, 50 pitches on that. We can get 60, 65 pitches, 5 innings out of you.
I'm here for
all of a sudden now a bullpen kind of shorter opening kind of thing. It looks like it's in the cards, especially because, as we said, if you're pulling the trigger on a skip start for Liberatore now in July, you're going to have to skip a Liberatore start in August, and you're going to have to skip a Palante start, if not in August, at least in September and at the end of the season if you don't want to push it. Yeah. So you have to get another body.
The other thing, Matz has value now.
Yes, he does. That's a good point.
And that was another guy that everyone wanted to throw overboard. And I understand that they paid a lot of money, and he never became the starter that they were hoping to be, a dependable piece of the starting rotation. But man, having that guy to pitch multiple innings out of the pen or make a spot start, that's a value. And people are going to want that. Someone's going to want that.
And again, the money is one thing, but when you're looking at only a third of the season left, 11 million prorated to 3.5 seems pretty cheap, pretty much a rounding error for some of these teams if they want to make a playoff run.
Danny Boy on the YouTube chat chimes in and goes, I listened to a podcast with Jeff Lunau the other day. He admitted that Billy DeWitt Jr. is very involved in the day-to-day and roster decisions.
Yeah, I didn't. But...
Is he trying to gotcha people who say that? Are you trying to say that? I feel like you're trying to take something from Lunau's quote that Jeff Lunau is not saying, which is that you're trying to say that he makes day-to-day lineup decisions, which I do not believe is what the quote is saying at all.
And just so you know, the reality is the Cardinals have always operated as a group with these. It's not DeWitt Jr. in his office screaming and get me so-and-so on the phone. They do it as a group. They make group decisions, good or bad. I
always pictured the third with his feet kicked up in it, but an abacus in his lap as he just starts going through the charts and things like that.
What's an
abacus?
Like
you with SpaghettiOs.
Exactly. An abacus it's those
beads,
those framed things with the beads on them that were prehistoric not prehistoric.
Oh
ancient calculators.
Interesting.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know the visual that I'm describing here? Okay.
It's like 3 minus 2, carry the 3.
Yeah,
In Peru, they used kipu, which were knotted bands of string to do math. I don't know how it works, but that's apparently what they did.
Yeah, yep. Let's see here.
I'm smart enough.
This is the most confused I've ever been as a Cardinal fan. I think they're rebuilding well, but it seems the whole fan base is mad and giving up.
Well, the fans have a right to be mad. It's been a rough season, okay? I understand it. I'll say again, I don't deal with the personal attacks of players on my Twitter feed. I think it's stupid to equate someone as being flawed with their character because they lost it or they're not performing well is silly to me.
What would you say to a fan who says that they don't feel like they've seen a unified vision from the Cardinals this season?
I'd say that.
Or plan.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
I mean, because when you start with runway and you start with we're trading Arenado and none of that happens, right? And then he's still here and then your runway for some guys goes away because guys are starting to play well and all of a sudden you're playing. But, I mean, that's how baseball is. Like, you can say this is our plan. Things change. Life. How many times in your life you're like, we're doing this, and then someone comes along and you go, I guess we're not doing that. And like I used to think I'm going to be a great radio host, and then I wasn't. And then I was like, all right, I'll be a sidekick guy.
Still holding on to that hope. It's dwindling, but I'm holding on. I'm okay with different people in the organization having different plans. Like, I expect that Marmol and the players have a very different mindset and plan than ownership and Mozeliak.
What do you mean by plan? Their plan is
to win every day.
I mean, that's what they try.
But I guess my thing is that I want Mozeliak and the ownership, I want them to be thinking in larger arcs and not every day. Can we win tomorrow? Can we win the next day? That's Ali and the player's job. For me, I want Marmol and them. I want Mozeliak and his group of people. I want them thinking about next year, 5 years, 10 years. Like, those are the arcs I want them thinking about.
I think they are, but I think once all of a sudden you look up and you're 10 games over 500 or whatever they were at their high water mark, you'd be silly not to sort of try to alter your plans a little to get the most out of possibly being better than you anticipated, and also seeing what you have. And I think they tried to do that as best they could.
Can you see the rationale of even if things get going really well for a month or two, of staying the course and saying, this is who we are, no matter what the record might belie?
Yeah, it depends what your opportunity is. If you're telling me they're going to win 12 in a row and all of a sudden they're in the wild card and they're closing in on the Brewers, then I think you have to act accordingly.
It might happen.
I just and that's what I actually.
You sound like a rights holder.
I honestly really hope, just because it would be hilarious. Because if they sweep the Padres, the math has them back in the wild card race, and now I have no idea what.
Are the Dodgers looking for anybody? Do they need? Closer help, third base help.
People were throwing out, because Muncy got hurt, people were throwing out them taking Arenado. But my thing there is that apparently there's no real rumblings right now around Arenado. That's the reporting, is that they're not hearing anything about Arenado. And Muncy's, apparently his rehab's going really well, and they're projecting that he might be back for the playoffs now. So I'm not buying that Arenado's getting
First of all, he has to say
yes.
Yes. Secondly, every day there are games played all over baseball, and someone's going to get hurt. Happens every day. Yep. Every day. So you don't know what the landscape will be 2 weeks from now.
Luna was not talking about the lineups, more roster decisions, trade deadline, free agency, was comparing him with the Astros owner. That was more hands-off unless there is big money involved. Danny boy.
That's not a change. Like, it's not all of a sudden the DeWitts have been involved in how their team is run. They've always been part of it. Bill DeWitt Jr. is a baseball guy.
Built this city, baby.
I think it'll be a different relationship with the third.
No, I think with Heim and suddenly I think it's probably going to be continued where there is some say in it.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't he? If I was him, I'd also want to say in it as well. I'm just saying maybe less of an active, because the third's always been on the business side of things,
right?
And so, do you think his role becomes more of the between the white lines as
pure
it takes
speculation?
over?
I don't know,
Okay,
but I would
that's fair.
say he'll have a hand in it. Maybe he'll listen more than maybe he's not the deciding vote.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's just pure
But
speculation.
yeah, to your point, that's how Junior has always run things.
Yeah.
We did that.
Works pretty well.
It was interesting. We were talking about Blake Ahern yesterday coming in here. I didn't know too much about him, but man, oh man, he played everywhere.
I'm very mad I didn't realize he was there.
He's a really, really interesting guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's a really interesting guy. He's been literally everywhere. I mean, 20 different countries. It's unbelievable.
Did you ask him about John Morant?
No, we were talking food the whole day. I was trying to it wasn't my show. Joe wanted to ask us about food the whole time. And I'm like, I got questions for this cat.
You should have asked him about John Morant.
We'll get him on here, man, because he's
awesome.
Dude, he was telling stories. I mean, he played in China, Ukraine. Right when Russia came into Crimea in 2014, he's like staying at this place with this family. She's just a little girl at the time or whatever the case is. And all of a sudden they hear just gunshot, bam, bam, bam. Military's killing people and this, that, and the other. They're like, get me out of here. And he calls the coach like, yeah, we'll just delay the game a couple days. He's like, no, I'm gone.
He was playing for.
I'm gone.
He was playing for a club in Kiev.
Yeah. It was crazy.
In 2013-14.
Crazy stories. I'd like to sit down with him and pick his brain. China.
And you have a
Russia
contract with a professional team in Russia, and they suddenly don't want you anymore. They just stop paying, and
they take your car away. They don't.
You had a
take your keys
driver.
away.
You had a fridge stocked with food. All of a sudden, the food's gone.
Everything.
And there's nothing you could do.
What are you going to do?
Just get on a plane. They're not buying you a ticket home. You better go buy a ticket home. You're
Also,
gone.
just talking. It'd be fat. One thing I've always wanted to talk to him about is he coached for the Austin Spurs, which means that he would have had. I'm not sure, just full on like video meetings, but he would have had meetings or conversations with Popovich about how some of the Austin Spurs guys were playing, and if the San Antonio should be looking at them. So I'm like, a guy who sat in a room and talked X's and O's with Greg Popovich.
He did.
Oh my God! All I want to do is talk to.
He's like, this guy is fascinating.
Oh my God!
He's like, everybody respected him when he walked into the room.
He's a bully.
Popovich?
Everybody,
a little bit. The one thing about Popovich.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well,
what do you mean, Jimmy?
Well,
he's notorious. It's like a thing now, and he loves it, where he's going to be rude to the reporter and Jimmy's
fraternities,
and it's
Jimmy's
like,
fraternities.
You know what?
Okay,
I get it once in a while. You get your feathers ruffled, but that's team media. They're on the same plane you are.
Yeah.
And you know them,
Come on, dude.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the times he was playing. It was an in joke between the two, but there's something tells me based on some of the reactions that there was every once in a while a sideline reporter who was not in on the joke, and he would just tear, and they'd just be sitting there like, "I'm trying to do my job," and I'm
what's he
you're
saying?
making me look like because you'd ask him a question and he would just blow off the premise of the question. He wouldn't even,
or he'd say that's a dumb question.
He'd be like, "That's a dumb question." He's like, "I gotta go, coach. Why are you asking me that right now?" And it's like, because this is my job. This is also your job. You agreed to it, that you do these stand-ups at halftime. Like, we're both just doing our job. Can we just get through it? So I get that side too. There's also, if you want to get really into it,
yeah,
the way he took over as the coach of the Spurs, not exactly the most, ethically sound way to do it. He had a head coach, and he was the GM, and the team was pretty bad. And the coach goes, "This team sucks." And he goes, "You should be doing better with this team." He goes, "No, this team sucks." He goes, "If you think this team can be better, you coach him." He goes, "Okay, fine." Fired the coach, takes over as the head coach. The team still sucks under him, but then they get the first overall draft pick. They get Tim Duncan, and then they win 5 championships over the next decade. And so, I get, Popovich has always been a hardcore person, but it is a little sketchy to blame a guy for not being able to win with the roster you gave him, and then you also can't win with the roster, but because you're the GM. And they're not going to fire. You're not going to fire yourself.
And then you become coach.
You get to then roll with Tim Duncan and a now healthy David Robinson, and all of a sudden you become the greatest coach.
Who
of
else
all
was
time.
on that team? Parker?
No, Parker comes in later on in the early 2000s for championships numbers 3 and 4 and 5. Ginobili joins later on, but that first 2 championships, it was David Robinson hurts his back and misses the entire season, and then they finish with the first overall pick. win the first overall pick, and then they draft Tim Duncan, and then they have David Robinson healthy the next year.
Did they know Tim Duncan was going to be amazing?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone knew. Yeah,
And it was
he's one
weird.
of those
What was
first
he,
overall.
Wake Forest, right?
Wake Forest, yeah.
And
he was a swimmer too.
And that's where, I mean, coming out of high school,
He was supposed to be an Olympic swimmer.
He was not. Yeah, he was
just
not
an athlete.
He was considered a swimmer, and there were a lot of big time programs that didn't think he was going to be what he turned out to be.
And I think part of that has to be
sound.
Part of that has to be that he was from the U.S. that he was from the Virgin
Yeah.
Islands, and that he wasn't stateside. That is that anytime, especially back in the 90s, they didn't have the scouting reach. People didn't have the ability to just take a video and port it over to your computer. Now you can break it down. So the fact that he was in the Virgin Islands had to affect that. The fact that he was at Wake Forest, who didn't put out a ton of huge prospects. But yeah, if you watch him, because he's 7 feet tall and he has feet that are like size 18, he, of course, is a good swimmer. Like
no doubt.
He's like Michael Phelps. He's born to be able to swim better than any other human. Giant fins. He's got fins on his connected to his arms. So yeah, he could have been an Olympic level swimmer. It's kind of like Joakim Noah, if you know who Joakim Noah was for the NBA.
Yeah, played for Chicago.
7 foot center. His dad was a professional tennis player who I think might have. I don't think he won Wimbledon, but I think he might have been in like the final.
He was always a top 10.
He was always a top 10 guy. But his dad was like 6'7". So Joakim Noah growing up is a tennis player, and he's like 6'7" at like 12 years old. He's destroying every kid in his age group because no one his ability to overhand serve.
Oh, just your reach
because
alone.
of the angle.
Oh,
it's
God,
easier for him to do this. So like Joakim Noah was dominating kids, and it's like even if he doesn't get good at basketball, he probably just could have been a pretty solid tennis player because he's just so damn large.
Yeah, it's good to pick basketball.
Good to pick basketball.
It's good. You made money, a lot of money. You know what I mean?
He was great. I mean, he was so fundamentally sound. Like,
Didn't say much, did he?
Well, a fascinating thing is Kevin Garnett, who is one of the greatest trash talkers and one of the most aggressive trash talkers in sporting history, talked about how when he would go after Tim Duncan would think, he's like, okay, I'm going to do it like I always do, guys. I'm going to get in their head as the game's going, and then eventually when they're out of their head, I'll just mentally destroy them. He goes, so I would talk to Timmy. He goes, but all of a sudden I'd look at the third quarter and I'd realize that I'd spent all my time talking, and I'm sitting there with 12-5, and Timmy's got 21, 14, 4-4.
Yeah.
And I'm getting dominated because Timmy just doesn't react to his trash talk. But he said Tim Duncan would trash talk, and he said Tim Duncan would do little things like he'd pull a move on you and he'd just go, too slow.
That's it, baby. That's all you need.
Or he'd dunk on you, just be like, you were right there.
Right.
Or
Learn.
you tried something on it and he'd block you. He'd just go like, be like, I've been watching you.
That's
and like
the
he
best.
just had apparently just Garnett says that he's had these 3 or 4 word things that he would say in a monotone, and it would just devastate
all you need, man. It's what George LaRock used to do. He wouldn't say much, but like I remember trying to hit him one time, and he just and he steps over me. He goes, "Did you learn?" I'm like, God, yeah. Did you learn?
pretty good.
It's pretty good. Oh,
Although
there's some really good ones.
I always maintain the greatest instance of trash talking in NBA history is undoubtedly Larry Bird walks up to an Atlanta Hawk before the game and just goes, "Hey man, it's right. It's Christmas Day. It's either Christmas Day or right before Christmas." He goes, "Hey man, I got you a present this year. I'll get it for you later." In the middle of the game, the player he had been talking to on the Hawks is sitting on the bench. Larry Bird catches the ball, 3 right in front of the bench, turns around, points at the guy, and goes, "Merry Christmas, MFer."
Oh, baby.
It's like, that is the most cold-blooded piece of trash talk I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, yeah, man. I heard nothing but just unbelievable stories about him. Everybody's got a story about him. I always did. Once you watch one on like Instagram, it just pop up or YouTube or whatnot. But yeah, he actually Blake told us that he went to dinner at Parker's house when Eva Longoria was cooking them meals, and he's like a really picky eater. He's like, that was like the height of everything. A-list. They were everywhere, just sitting in one of their country homes or whatever, and he gets invited over there, and he didn't like the meal. Like, I don't think he liked it. He's a picky guy, so he's just forcing it down, and your stomach hurts, and like, you go to the bathroom in a place like that, like you don't even want to go to the bathroom. Yes. You don't even want to go number 1. Certainly amazing. Not number 2. I don't want to mess up anything. Like, my God Almighty, that's the peak of their popularity too. To be over there just to try a meal and hang out and look around. I don't know.
The peak because things would get a little ugly around the Parker household.
What happened?
A couple years later.
What happened with that?
Parker cheated on Eva Longoria.
That's right. Okay. I could have figured that one out.
And I believe
I could have figured that one out.
I also think Tony Parker might have.
What did he do?
Stepped out on one of his teammates.
Oh man. Oh, let's see
He's
here.
French, right? Parker?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure.
Vous les poissons.
I think there were accusations that Tony Parker, stepped out on one of his teammates' wives too. So
You son of a gun, baby. Woo! That is
not great.
Not good. That is like you don't do that. That's a tough one, man.
But man,
whoa,
that Euro step and that
I don't get that.
That little pull up push shot he had from 15 feet though, Jimmy.
Oh, I bet the guys hated him.
We don't see mid range basketball anymore, do we?
Shea's got it, but everyone calls him a foul baiter.
Who's Shea?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Wonder how much money he had to give out. Shannon Sharp.
Oh, Shannon Sharp.
Who gets more calls, him or Brunson?
Ooh, I would say, I think actually just like factually, Brunson gets more calls, based on their free throw count and rate this past year,
and also the fact that Brunson is now still in a full body cast. That guy takes a beating.
Yeah.
By the way, that's another thing about
think
YouTube and
that's a really
social
good
media.
question.
Like, how many times do you scroll through and your algorithm says you like the Knicks, and you look and like there's a million YouTube people going, the Knicks are getting this guy or that guy, and it's based on nothing.
Well, I mean,
Nothing.
that's
You rate
a
it.
camera in front of them.
It's
Jim. That's
you rate
Do
it.
you see the
nothing.
Cardinals one?
Jim. That is not the fault of the median. That is the fault of the fan base that you are a fan of, because kind of like
He just said it's for the Cardinals too.
Oh yeah, because my
don't know.
algorithm, because I watch Rock and Randy and Shafe, and then there's tons.
Every team has that.
Yeah, but the Lakers, it feels like every offseason, the Lakers and the Knicks fan bases we are getting every good player. The Lakers and the Knicks, every single
Toronto
offseason,
Maple Leafs
we
too.
are getting every good
Toronto's
player.
the same way.
I'm talking about the social media accounts that mislead. Find out why it's a lock that the Cardinals are going to do this or the Knicks are going to do that. And then you watch it, and there's no lock. It's just pure speculation. And you realize the guy talking,
and he
got no juice.
And he got you for a little bit, and that's all you needed.
It is Shea. According to Basketball Reference, Shea's free throw rate, which is the amount of times he went to the free throw line relative to the amount of field goals he takes from the field, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander this year was at a 40.4%.
Wow.
While Jalen Brunson was at 37.3%.
Yikes.
So, the free throw attempt rate, number of free throw attempts per field goal attempt, 37.3 for Brunson, 40.4 for
And you know what
Shea
that tells
Gilgeous.
you,
So it is higher, but I think those two rates are two of the highest in the
It
entire
also
league.
tells you, one, that these guys can play and that guys can't guard them, but also there's been a conscious decision. We're gonna hack these guys because I'd rather put them at the line than get burnt, right?
Well, I don't know. I think saying there's a conscious decision to hack is more. I think it's overlooking the fact that it's just that in the NBA right now, if you are a good ball handler and you have good one-on-one moves, you are at such an advantage because of the athleticism that the only way to defend great players like that the majority of times is to reach and foul them, because you have such an advantage right now as an offensive player in the NBA that you talk Alex Caruso, who's one of the best defenders, he'll just be like, guys, it's not that we're not trying, it's that you can't, if you are one step too late, you physically cannot guard some of these players once they're in this position. It's like you can't do it. And so I think it's more just the incredible athleticism of guys like Brunson and Shea. It's just that as soon as they get you to turn your hips one way, you're screwed.
But
they
hold
now
on,
control
hold
the
on.
possession.
Look, players are bigger, faster, stronger now. They can do things that guys couldn't do in the past. I'm giving you that. But there have always been great one-on-one players. The difference is they call it more. Okay,
I'm just telling you what other players in the league say,
I'm
they
telling
say that it has got, and this veterans agree with them, that it has gotten harder than ever to play one-on-one defense without getting called for fouls. And so therefore, I don't think it's a hack factor. I think it's how you're calling.
I don't
the
have
game.
to hear that. I'm just telling you, look, what's the number one complaint from people that I'm a college basketball fan? I don't like the NBA. It's that there's not enough passing. Well, the reason why there's no passing in the
also not
NBA
true.
is because your job as a coach is to have your team get the best percentage shot possible. And with gifted ball handlers, shooters, you don't need 6 passes. Give it to your stars, and they will shoot over 50% or be fouled.
You also just shouldn't accept the premise. The college basketball fan saying that is factually incorrect. Like the statement of they don't pass the ball enough in the NBA is not true. Like
you don't have
shouldn't.
to.
People shouldn't. That statement doesn't pass the muster, and I'm not going to. I refuse to accept the premise. It's a false. It's a false.
But it's also because you don't have to. You put the ball in the hands of your star, and they're going to get you 55%. Okay, if you don't have gifted players like that, you need more ball movement to shake someone free. It's just a basic.
Like some teams pass the ball more, but to your point, the teams that usually have less of a monolith star pass the ball more than the teams that do have a monolith star. But I mean, the Thunder have one of the highest passing amounts in the NBA, and they have a monolith MVP level star.
I'm just saying, watching NBA usually have the teams that win have 3 stars. It used to have 1 or 2. Now they're 3, and any one of those guys can get their shot, and you don't need 4 passes. And the more passing, the more possibility of turnovers, knock away. You put it in the hands of your stars. That's kind of how it is.
Sounds like Rockio's mad that the Blues didn't trade Benner and dared to try and make the playoffs ahead of schedule. Were you saying that they should trade Benner?
I don't think you can compare the talent level relative to the rest of the league that the Blues had on their roster this past year to what the Cardinals have on their roster this year compared to the rest of Major League Baseball. It's not a comparable thing.
Did you want to trade Benner?
No, not at all. I thought it would have been ridiculous to trade Benner.
Okay.
It's also the contracts it's different. Benner is on a long-term deal with the cap going up right now. Any deal you signed 3 years ago,
he's got a couple years left.
Good deal because the cap's going up. These guys are locked in on AAV contracts, which means it doesn't go up. I guess some of the money might, so maybe we can look at the cash on the Binnington deal. But no, it makes no sense to trade Binnington because he's not on an expiring deal. I want to trade all the Cardinals who are on expiring deals because that's what smart organizations do. Smart organizations don't trade players on good long-term contracts, which is why I was one of the main people who said, if you trade Jordan Kyrou, it's dumb.
Are the Cardinals a smart organization?
I like to think they have a plan. And I'm not going to say whether or not a smart or dumb organization. I just want my organizations to have a plan, and I want them to stick to that plan because I acquiesce that these are the professionals, these are the experts. So if they have a plan and they stick to the plan, I will support that aspect of things, even if I don't agree with the plan. The things that I criticize is when I see what looks like to me deviation from the plan.
How much time do we have left?
In this segment, we can take a break whenever.
Take a break. Why? What's up?
Because I also wanted to put out there, out of the blue, Mason Wynn, who is a guy I hope they hold on to. I like that guy.
People have been throwing out his name because
he hasn't developed as far as
I think it's more because of the injuries, like the fact that the knee's popping up, the back injuries, chronic.
Out of the blue, like I knew he was dealing with. He said my knee is jacked up.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
And his back is too, isn't it?
His back is always an ongoing thing.
That and the fact that you have so many middle infielders coming up.
Are you watching the plays that this guy makes?
He is. He's fun to watch.
Listen, I'm with you 100%.
And I think this guy is going to end up stealing 20 bases a season, hitting 20 homers.
What is he just because his stolen base rate, the fact that he's getting caught more when they do steal him this year, but they're trying him less than last year. Is it just because of the injuries they're having him run less?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. He doesn't have a great feel for it. It's one of the things he has blazing speed, cut down by a bad knee.
Yes.
But I watch the plays that this guy makes. He's
incredible.
Now look, he might ruffle some feathers internally because he's a guy who understands who he is, maybe doesn't take as much coaching, but okay. I'll say this, that guy's a leader in my opinion. And I think his skill set is unbelievable. And I would like to see them hold on to him and hope for the best with the injuries. Look, Gorman has an ongoing back thing too. But what we've seen from Wynn, granted, he isn't as good this year as I thought he'd be.
Mm-hmm.
Still plenty good.
I think, to give the people credit who are making these points, I think a lot of these points are connected to the rapid play of J.J. Weatherholt. And we should say last night, another 2 home run game.
I think he's a second baseman.
And I'm with you there. I think most people are saying he's a second baseman.
I haven't seen him enough. But that's what people I trust say. I think he's going to be a second baseman.
And I think there's some people who saying, well, they're saying he could move there, but he's played so much shortstop that you can probably get away with playing him at shortstop. My thing is like the Cardinals are getting more swing and miss, but going into next year, there's still going to be a lot of the rotation built upon younger pitchers who were acquired when it was still about location and not stuff.
Pitch to count.
And so you're still
and you
going
think swing and miss is here next year?
No,
Or
I'm
the year after?
I'm saying not here. I'm saying it won't be. And so I'm saying next year you still need a good defense behind these pitchers if you want to have a winning side. Because as much as I love Matthew Liberatore, as much as I love Michael McGreevy, everything that the experts tell us is that these guys have great location, but they don't have great stuff. So you still need the defense behind them. And so going maybe not negative defense, but losing plus defense at third base and shortstop is risky considering the how your pitching staff is still going to be built next year.
Yeah, I think defense is a cornerstone for any good team,
especially
anyway,
up the middle.
Unless you're one of those teams that got boppers up and down the lineup.
And I think that's other people's thought process is that you're not trading Mason Wynn for just another shortstop. You're trading him for a guy that you can put in at shortstop who now gives you an outsized bat for the position, which then gives you a lot more roster
Same
flexibility.
thing at second base, wouldn't you say?
It would, but you're also again going with
Gorman.
Gorman.
Donovan in the outfield.
Going with Gorman at second base instead of Donovan, you're losing a Gold Glover. And are you willing to give up defense at both middle infield spots? That seems again fine. When you have Quinn Matthews and Liam Doyle as your starters, maybe you can get away with that. But if Matthew Liberatore and Sonny Gray and Michael McGreevy are your 1, 2, 3 next year, you need good defense up the middle.
I think you always do, and I just like Wynn. And who knows, what the offers are on the table. Who knows what's going to happen with Arenado? Mo said he believes he's going to still be here, but we don't know who's going to offer and what could change. But yeah, I mean, who knows where you need to plug guys in?
I think people are also mentioning Wynn too because his value, like Wynn and Herrera's values, compared to any other like trade piece, if you want to just look at it that way in a vacuum, those guys' values is so outsized anybody else on the roster because like you have look at the All-Star, you have Brendan Donovan. The issue there is cheap contract, yes, but 28 years old, and it just right out of the gate, just him being 28 years old lowers his value. And so you could get more for trading a guy like Wynn, who isn't as useful to your baseball team right now, than a guy like Donovan, who is more useful to your baseball team, but doesn't have the ceiling, doesn't play as much of the premium position, is obviously a lot older. And really the only boon for Donovan is his average and the fact that he's arbitration eligible. So it should be
I want Donovan back.
Deal. I want him back too.
Herrera told me he used to be an outfielder. He hadn't played in 9 years.
I would love to see it in my left field.
But he said in Panama they know him as an outfielder, and he thinks he can do it. Now he's got the hamstring. He's had injury problems this year as well.
And bringing back to that, I don't know if it would be very different, but with the way he's hitting now, we do have to talk about how, while it didn't seem like it in the moment, a large shift in what this season could be happened in late May when Jordan Walker went down. Because their inability to just see what he was going to be in the long runway sense of things kind of mucked things up because he was hitting so well going into the break, and they were definitively going to give him runway in every way, shape, and sense of the phrase. And he gets hurt, and now he's coming back up, and he's putting 111 mile per hour exit velocity off the wall for doubles and things like that. And so I'm not saying it would have changed all this stuff because a lot of the conversations we're having is pitching. But I can't help but think about all the conversations we'd be having if Jordan Walker would have kept hitting through June and into July. Everything would be different because our 2026, 2027 roster projections would now have a solid right-handed hitter in the corner outfield spots. And right now you can't project that.
So think about that. Walker shown what he has already shown he can do it at the big league level. Mm-hmm. That first year, he looked like, okay, this guy is going to be a really, really good player. Mm-hmm. Hasn't reached that level again. Now imagine all these prospects that everyone wants. Prospects. It has to be. I'd like to see the Cardinals also say, Cardinal fans deserve a star. Let's get a star. Let's get a big bat in here. Let's get some prospects and balance it. Because if you always count on prospects, how many teams have had total rebuilds?
They don't work.
What big bat you looking for, Jimmy?
I don't. Someone with some cachet, star power. Because right now, Chip Carey made this point, and he's a really smart guy. But he said St. Louis has always had a star, and we don't really have one now. I mean, they're good players, people that the fans enjoy. I'd like to see him get a big bat in here, spend a little money, and also get your prospects and get your swing and miss and all that. But who knows how that's going to pan out.
If
they had it with Arenado and they had it with Goldie, they had it at the corner. When people say they haven't done anything, you had generational talent at the corner. Did they do enough to around it? No. In hindsight, they didn't. But that didn't work out. And to me, to say they haven't, made a move on a big name player, you got to be kidding me. They had those guys at the corners and didn't do anything with it.
If you had to, which one do you think is more likely? Them going out knowing that Gray's already on the back half of his deal, them going out and spending 25 to 30 million per year on a big name free agent pitcher, or them spending that 30 million on the 26-year-old right-handed bat that I don't have a name right now, but he's out there. Like, which one do you think is more likely for them to put the big heft behind?
They've always been bat, not pitching, because pitching has more risk.
Yep.
The Cardinals, and look, it's worked for them for a long time. They've always been risk adverse, and you spend big money on a pitcher, the chances of getting the return on that aren't as good as a hitter, especially if the hitter's 26.
When the DeWitts say they needed a new stadium, they said they would develop the area around the new stadium with businesses, but they then built Ballpark Village and stole customers from places like patios that been around for a long time. Just another reason why I could never be a Redbird fan. Go Cubs. No, they built the city up
First
pretty
off,
well.
if you decide I'm not going to root for the Cardinals anymore, how do you jump into rooting for the Cubs? That tells you that there might have been a mindset in place prior to.
Yeah. All right,
You're going to tell me any developments they did around Wrigleyville didn't drive out a bar here and there?
Of course they did.
Do you know that?
And by the way, Patios is still doing well.
The hell out of here, my guy! Come on.
Do you know that the rooftops were owned, and it was secret? I did an interview with Matt Carter on one of the rooftops years ago. We walked across that street, and he's in full uniform. It was awesome. And we did an interview up there. And the guy who was
Cardinal walking across the street in full uniform is so perfect to me.
It was unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Years ago. And the guy who was helping handle that I was like, who owns this? Well, we don't talk about that. It was the guy who owned the Cubs. He owned all of it. They bought, and then eventually it came under one roof.
Line change.
No,
line change. Okay, we're going to go to break. We will be back. Hot Take Central 2.0.
You've seen this. It's brand new. Are you online?
Oh, hey. Oh, so you're new here.
All right, let's get cracking.
Okay, then maybe you should check out our website.
You're insane.
Well, you download songs illegally from the internet.
LouInfo.com. The Lou Information Station. 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Our origin story begin.
Hats off to family fun on Sunday, July 27th, when the Birds host the Padres. That day, 20,000 fans, 16 and older, will get a City Connect throw pad courtesy of Quick Trip. And thanks to Haichu, 10,000 kids ages 15 and under will take home a Cardinals hat with custom charms. Upgrade your and your kiddos' game gear. Snag your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A house fire killed a man in South St. Louis on Wednesday. 54-year-old Bradley Rowe died in the fire in the 4100 block of Tyrolean Avenue. Investigators are looking into the cause of the fire. A St. Peter's woman pleaded guilty to felony arson for setting 3 Puerto Rico businesses on fire in January. Danielle Bertothy was kicked out of a bar and returned later with a gas can, according to investigators. A monster catfish was recently hauled in by an angler on the Missouri River. An 86-pound blue catfish was caught using gizzard bait near Washington, Missouri. Wally Klein told the Missouri Department of Conservation it's the biggest fish he's ever caught, and he released it after getting a photo. President Trump's recently passed Big Beautiful Bill repeals energy tax credits, and that could cause electricity bills in Missouri to spike by $640 per year for the average household. Missouri's increase would be the highest in the nation. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, louinfo.com weather, presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports, anytime, anywhere.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. We have an extreme heat warning in effect today from the National Weather Service. Really hot and really humid. Sunshine, and we're headed for about 100 on the afternoon high air temperature. The heat index as high as 110, so take it easy in the sunshine today. Few clouds and maybe a shower overnight. Upper 70s, scattered thunderstorms, and mid-90s Friday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Fenton Bar and Grill, home of the best trash wings in the St. Louis area and the best servers in town. Fenton Bar and Grill is located on Rudder Road in Fenton, just minutes away from the soccer park. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., so anytime is a good time to enjoy Fenton Bar and Grill. While you're there, say hi to the 2024 Mater D of the Year, and know you'll always be around people that love sports. It's a guaranteed great time at Fenton Bar and Grill. Learn more at fentonbarandgrill.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not sure how to get a lawyer after an accident? Call Brown and Crouppen. We'll walk you through it. Worried it'll cost too much? Here's a fact. At Brown and Crouppen, you pay nothing up front, and we never get paid unless you do. When you're our client, you'll have all your questions answered, all for free. Hurt? Get the facts and help you need. Call Brown and Crouppen now.
Hot Take Central 2.0.
Now, as you sports fans know, it's really getting out of hand, man. It's going way out of control.
With Cam Jansen.
I'm going to lead you down the path that rocks.
And Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
You're a legend in the city, moving by day instead of night.
Weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
Hell yeah.
Only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
This whole situation is getting out of control.
Back to more of Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen.
The most perfectly trained athlete ever.
And Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
I'm an influential and respected man.
On the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
Yeah, baby, 9:51 on a Thursday. The Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. This is Hot Take Central 2.0. Eli Hoover, Jim the Cat Hayes, Cam Jansen, 855-282-8255, 590-3770. That's the text line. Of course, we're on YouTube. Always like and subscribe. Are you got your podcast today, Jimmy?
Yeah, we're
you herding the cats?
Herding the cats.
You herding them cats? That's the toughest part. It's just Andy and I are doing the same thing right now, trying to get one in tomorrow. Then you got to squeeze one in maybe Monday, but that's the most difficult. Everyone wants to have a podcast, but they don't realize it takes a lot of work.
Well, first of all, everyone does have a podcast. Everyone.
You're absolutely.
You always see that on the show, and I have a podcast. Okay.
Just go. I mean, my algorithm on YouTube is unbelievable. All I do is scroll. It's just another 2 kids, boom, another 2 kids, another 2 kids, boom, 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 nonstop.
And I will tip my cap to Dave Green. Podcast Heat is the company. And I was with another company with Serving It Up with Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, and Matt Holliday, and it just
didn't go anywhere.
No one was seeing it.
Didn't go anywhere.
I wouldn't say no one was watching. No one was seeing it.
Yeah,
because of the algorithm. Someone said on my YouTube page I hadn't posted in a year, and then they punish you for that. And Dave Green said, "Come over and we'll take care of it." And
he's juggling a lot of things.
Yes, he is. And it jumped.
He does a great job, man. Dave, you gotta give him credit. I come in here early, and he's here. He fixed this whole place up. I mean, there was a lot going on, and there's still a lot more to do. I think they're going to be changing a lot more stuff in this studio. But yeah, he's juggling a lot of things, and he's doing a pretty dang good job, Jimmy.
That's why I try not to be the guy that bothers him with things.
Yeah, I know.
He's got enough on his plate.
I know. That's what
we do an awful show. He doesn't seem to mind. And
what's up, Eli? What's up?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Just planning a show for this afternoon.
And then you're leaving here in a couple weeks to go back down to college, and we got Big Ryan coming in, who's about 6'5", monster.
So yeah, Ryan's about my size. He played football and basketball in high school. He's a big old dude. But yeah, after this week, I have 2 more weeks, and then I'm back off to Carbondale.
Right on, man. Well, good. That's got to be fun. Like, are you excited about it? Are your buddies down there?
Yeah.
Where are you staying at?
I'm really excited. I have an off-campus apartment again this year, so I'm pretty excited.
Is it expensive?
Not expensive for me. Luckily, my grandparents take care of that stuff.
Oh,
so yeah,
nice.
Probably a little bit more expensive than they'd like for it to be, if I had to guess. But
you got to stay somewhere,
Yep, more or less.
So they take care of that. That's cool.
Yeah,
gives you a little extra spending money.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful that they still take care of that stuff. Like, you know what, you're getting your education. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
What do you spend the most money on down there? Food?
Yeah,
booze,
food.
I'm not.
I don't think he's a drinker.
Right.
No, good for him. Don't start.
Lot of food, especially if I'm on set that weekend or if I have a broadcast. Like, I'm constantly I have to stop somewhere on the way home.
Is there cheap places? Are you eating fast food left and right, or can you go to a deli and pick up food, put it in the fridge, make your own food
He's a college guy.
Well, that's cheaper.
Most of it is fast food places because it is a college town at the end of the day, and there are a lot of pizza places. They're like, this is the pizza place you gotta go to. There's I was talking to Ryan during the morning show. There's a McDonald's like 30 seconds from my apartment, so unfortunately I frequent that quite a bit.
It just calls your name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Come over here,
It's
Eli.
easy. And
Come on, exactly.
And
it's
you know
easy.
what you're in. By the way, maybe I'm wrong, but right now I'm looking at him. Already
got a beard going.
He looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
I do need to shave.
Google Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't. If you grew your hair out, probably, and you got that beard, you gonna keep that beard going?
No, I gotta shave before I go.
Yeah,
I keep meaning to, but
just trim that bad boy up.
I don't think you need. You're fine. It's not even long or anything. You're fine.
You're fine. No big deal.
I'm right.
What are you looking up there, Jimmy? Anything you doing? What do you got going over there?
I'm trying to get a picture of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
I know exactly what it looks like. Oh yeah.
Honestly, being compared to Matthew Lillard is not the worst thing that's going to happen to me today.
Yeah.
I'm still going to count it as
Matthew Lillard.
I'm still.
You know what? When you say his name, you know what movie I think of more than anything?
Scream.
Yep.
Dude,
that took over the world, by the way, in the 90s. Scream.
Me and my brother rewatched Scream like last week.
Took over the world.
I love
the
that
Ghost.
movie.
You remember Scream?
Didn't see.
Oh,
I'm not a. You know what I watched last night? The Amateur.
What's that?
With the guy who played the lead singer from Queen.
Yeah,
that crazy
Rami Malek.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was like this computer nerd that went after these guys that killed his wife.
Okay,
really good.
What's that?
I'm remembering.
Movie?
I saw all the commercials for it. Yeah,
really good.
Is it a movie or is it
movie.
a series?
Movie.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a movie
on Netflix.
Watched it on the flight last night.
Netflix.
I saw it on the flight.
Oh, okay, yeah. I might have to check that out, man. I mean, I'm probably going to do nothing over the weekend. It's too hot outside.
Yeah,
it's way too hot to do anything. But all right, well, we're going to go. Who's up next, by the way, Eli?
We got Co-Found Hers with Lisa Litvak and Angela Sandler.
Cool. All right. Well, tell them to have a great show. We will see everybody tomorrow. This is Hot Take Central 2.0. Bye, homie.
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak. And there's no passports or IDs